Okay. Hi, this is Peter Dennehy. I'm the chair of the CPAB board, and I think I'm calling this meeting to order and taking attendance, right? And maybe everybody could unmute and just say your name and say whether you're present. I don't have everyone's names in front of me.
We can help you out, Peter. So Peter, you're present.
Yes, I am.
Dr. Campbell.
Present.
Victoria Barbara. And Victoria, I think you might be on mute. We do see her here. Patrick.
Present.
And Eugene.
Here.
Thank you.
Great. So I think then the next step is for Leo to go through the rules for the meeting.
Yeah,
I'll hand that over to Nadine.
Okay, got it.
So thank you to CPAB members. A reminder that we are going to be streaming live. We're recording this meeting currently. So meeting presenters, staff, and CPAB members are attending this webinar as panelists. For these participants, the meeting will still function as a regular Zoom meeting. Please note the buttons on your Zoom meeting bar. The camera icon is to activate your video. The microphone is to mute and unmute. Please remember to stay muted when you are not talking and to unmute yourself when you speak. You will also see the chat window button. Please keep your chat window open at all times, as you will be using the chat to signal when you'd like to speak. When wanting to make a motion, second a motion, or participate in a discussion, please type speak in the chat box, and Peter or myself will call on you in the order entered. Please refrain from using the meeting chat for anything other than signaling that you would like to speak in order to comply with the Brown Act. Thank you. Back to you, Peter.
Great, and I believe the next step is to ask for staff announcements.
So we're going to ask for board member announcements and then staff announcements.
Okay, board member announcements. Are there any board member announcements? Hearing none, we will move on to staff announcements.
We may want to approve the minutes in the last meeting first before we get to
sorry.
staff.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's approve. I take it everybody's received a copy and has reviewed the minutes from our last virtual meeting. Let's take a vote. Will anyone move to approve the minutes?
This is Patrick. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
And that was
And,
Dr.
again, unmute yourself and say your name. Okay. Maybe could each of you just signify that you're aye or say in the chat? I think we're good. And I'm an aye.
Aye.
Okay. I think that's Dr. Campbell, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Do we have, I think we have one abstention from our new board member. I see that. And does everybody else approve?
Yeah, this is Patrick. Aye.
Okay, great. And then Dr. Victoria Barba. Is that only 4 of us? That's enough to approve, right?
Yeah, as long as you have a quorum here.
Okay, got it. So we have 4 ayes and 1 abstention.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Then I guess that the minutes are approved. Now we'll move on to staff member announcements.
Yes.
Okay.
I have the pleasure of doing the first announcement. I wanted to welcome our newest CPAB member, Eugene Chen, to the meeting. Eugene was appointed by Mayor Gloria back in April, and he recently was approved by City Council. And so just want to give you a little bit of background about Eugene. He has about 25 years of experience in fund investments, direct investments into private companies, business advisory and research into private equity, including venture capital. He graduated from Stanford University and earned a PhD from the MIT Sloan School of Management. And Mr. Chen served on the investment team for the San Diego County Employees Retirement Association, and then subsequently joined the Wells Fargo Investment Institute. So he's serving the remainder of an unexpired term that will end in July of 2023. So I wanted to welcome Mr. Chen, and then our Deputy Director of Economic Development also has some comments.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Monica Hardman, Deputy Director with the Economic Development Department. It is such a pleasure to be able to welcome Mr. Chen to the CPAB board. And I just got to say, Mr. Chen, I'm looking forward to working with you. Your credentials are impressive. And I just want to say, from the city's perspective, we truly, truly, truly appreciate your willingness to serve on the board, and recommendations to the board from City Council are very much well respected. So congratulations on the nomination. And we're really looking forward to you being able to assist us in working with our low and moderate income communities of San Diego to be able to benefit from this work. So Mr. Chen, I would like to open it up to see if you have any comments that you would like to share.
Thank you, everyone, and good morning. I appreciate the kind words and warm welcome, particularly from Leonardo, Michelle, and Nadine during the orientation a few months back. And thank you, Monica, for the kind words as well, and certainly look forward to working with you and the other CPAB members in due course.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chen. Are there any other board members that would like to extend a welcome or have any comments? Going once, going twice, feel free to speak up.
If nobody's going to jump in, this is Peter Dennehy. I'll welcome you, and we're looking forward to having you with us on the board.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you so much. So I am going to continue with announcements, and I have a very bittersweet announcement to share with all of you. Our colleague, Mr. Leonardo Alarcon, will be leaving the Community Development Division to pursue a growth opportunity within our department. So while we're extremely sad that he's leaving the Community Development Division, we're blessed that his expertise, his knowledge will remain in the Economic Development Department. So after 9 years working with the Consolidated Plan Advisory Board, 7 of those serving as the CPAB liaison, this will be Leo's final CPAB meeting. This means that Leo has worked on 9 action plans. I'll repeat that. 9 action plans, 9 consolidated annual performance and evaluation reports, and 9 rounds of scoring criteria updates. That's quite impressive. Leo has played an integral role leading the policy section of the Community Development Division and is a very much respected member of our team. Our entire team wishes him continued success as he furthers his career within the Economic Development Department. I'd like to now turn it back to Michelle Morano, who has some words that she would like to share.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. I've had the pleasure of working with Leonardo for all 9 of those years that Monica mentioned. And if we take a moment to do some math, that means he's supported around 90 regular CPAB meetings throughout the course of his career with the city so far, and countless technical assistance meetings. And I just wanted to highlight, many of you may not know this, but do you know how many CPAB meetings he's missed out of those 9 years? 2. So he's missed 2 of those meetings in all of his years of service. And I think this demonstrates his dedication as a public servant. He's shown you with the quality of his work and professionalism, his commitment to the success of this board and to the mission of supporting low and moderate income communities and small businesses. And you've seen this through his efforts to go above and beyond. But some of the things that you haven't seen that I just kind of want to highlight for you is most of you have worked in the electronic ED grant system. The only person who was here before that time was Rich, who unfortunately isn't attending this meeting today. But prior to that, we
I'm
had
here.
hard copies. Oh, you are here. Hi, Rich.
Yep, finally
I'm
made
sorry,
it.
I didn't
Yep.
see you. Yay. You know what I'm talking about. We had hard copies of all of the RFP responses and all of the scoring criteria for 9 CPAB members. So if you think about that, if 40 applications, 9 CPAB members, that's 360 copies of all of these responses that were put into binders. And Leo, to save CPAB members time and the inconvenience of driving downtown, would personally deliver those binders to CPAB members at their home or their place of business. So that's just one example of how he goes above and beyond. And then the other, just kind of a small gesture that makes a big impact is, we have community meetings, especially when we're doing our 5-year consolidated planning process. So we're out in the community, getting input on how we should spend our funds in the future. And whenever we were out in a neighborhood, Leo always made an effort to purchase coffee for attendees from a local community-based, community-serving business. And that's just another example of how one small step makes a really big impact. So I'm going to miss working with Leo on a daily basis, but I couldn't be happier to see him continue his career growth with the city. And just want to let you all know that until we complete a recruitment process and hiring process to fill the very big vacancy that he is leaving, please feel free to direct any questions to me or Nadine, and we will be happy to assist you. And Leo, do you have anything to say? Oh, sorry, Rich. Did
Well,
you want to talk first?
I wanted to say something, say a few things to Leo on this. Well, so many words come to mind. I've been with him 9 years, right? 9 years, my gosh, right? And nobody's ever been more of a friend of the CPAP board than him. Anytime we went anywhere, he saw us as VIPs and introduced us as such. And he respected our time in the CPAP so well, because he knows that everybody on the CPAP board are busy people, because busy people get things done. And that's why they pick folks. They're professional people. And Leo, well, let me give you a few words that come to mind to describe Leo: like honesty, integrity, reliable, a leader, hard worker, organized, supportive, problem solver, utility player, selfless, cerebral, knowledgeable, pliable, great teacher, humble, friend to all, low maintenance, focused, caring, never petty, and just good old fashioned priorities, right? And so few people I've ever met have impressed me so much as Leo, and I've seen him grow and see him just get better and better and better. So I just, this board, I know we all appreciate him so much, as we do all of you. But Leo has just been, for me personally, has carried me through this, because so many times I've been so frustrated, with technology or changing this or changing that, or even the moral ethics that come with this. And Leo has always been the one that's not just held me together, but others as well. So I love you, Leo, and so does everybody else, and you'll be my friend forever. So thank you, Leo.
Wow, such kind words from everyone. I'll say this: during the interview, they asked me like customer service related questions, and like, who's my customer? And I always said like the CPAB members were my customers, and like, you guys were always my top priority. And I can't thank you guys enough, because it's been a pleasure kind of serving this board and helping everyone, and like, just understanding how many people care about the communities in San Diego. And the work you guys do, it's grunt work. It is, especially those applications, like, the applications have been lower the last couple of years, for like 40, 50, but at our peak, it was 75 applications. And the whole month of February, the board members are just grinding, and it's like 40 hours a week. And so as a City of San Diego employee, I can't thank you guys enough. And I was just really lucky to be a part of this for 9 years. And thank you all for the kind words.
Did anyone else want to offer any parting remarks for Mr. Alarcon?
Leo, this is Patrick. I'd like to say that while I haven't served as long as Rich has the last 2 years, and even though it's through the pandemic, it has been a pleasure. I really appreciate it. I came onto this board during the pandemic, and it was different times. It was difficult to figure out which end was up. But through your help and leadership and guidance, I think that it was a pretty smooth period of time here, and I can't thank you enough for it. And I really, more importantly, thank you for your service to our city. We hear a lot of complaints about bureaucracy and city employees not caring, so on and so forth. And we all know that's not true. And you are truly an example of somebody that has done an incredible job. So thank you. I look forward to one of these days finally meeting you in person, and hopefully being able to have a beer and telling you thank you to your face, and looking forward to seeing greater things from you, my friend. Thank you, Leo.
Thank you.
Angela, looks like you have your hand up.
I do. Leo, I just wanted to say I joined the EDD department again as a return employee pre-pandemic. And you have amazed me with what you and Michelle have done with the CPAB board. I was so happy to see the institution of the CPAB and the continuation and support by our council and our mayor. And when I came back pre-pandemic, it was moving along smoothly. Pandemic hit, there were hiccups. We thought, oh no, you tackled it with grace and professionalism. And I thank you so much, because as many of us were focused on emergency funding and making sure our members of the community were taken care of, you and Michelle and Nadine stayed back to really hold the fort down and talk about getting the CPAB continuing to go and run smoothly into the virtual forum. I can't thank you enough. You've done a tremendous job, and we will definitely miss you a lot. And I'm just so happy for you that you have an opportunity to grow in our department. And I hope one day, just like myself and others, you are able to return and lead this group to bigger and better things as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing you grow in our department, and can't thank you enough for all the work you've done with CPAB and also with our policy section. You've really tackled some very difficult decisions to make, and working with our HUD West Division LA office, that's been a tremendous help as well. So I thank you, and I wish you the best.
Thanks, Angela.
And looks like Victoria has her hand up as well.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. Leo, I just wanted to say, as a former council staffer and now as a member of the CPAP board, I wanted to say thank you. And I was lucky to see your work on the council floor with the community members in San Isidro, and now here on the board. And the service that the work and the service that you provided to community members. And I think the first time that I met you was when you did, I want to say, a workshop in San Isidro. This was years ago, definitely pre-pandemic, and definitely before Councilmember Alvarez termed out in 2018. And now, and all the help you've provided when I joined the board, and the big binder I received, and all the guidance you've provided. Yeah, just wanted to say thank you. And I'm glad, well, it's sad to know you're leaving the board, or you're not going to be working with the team, but just very excited to know you're still going to be working at the city, and that the city won't be losing you. But yeah, congratulations on the new position, and thank you for everything you've done for all of us.
Thank you, Victoria.
If there's no further comments on that, I can pass it off to Nadine for 2 more staff announcements.
Sure. Before I start on the staff announcements, I also wanted to thank Leo for his mentorship and his guidance. Definitely will be missed. I've worked with Leo closely since I started at the city a couple of years ago, and I know I have huge shoes to fill. and I hope I'm able to serve the board with the same dedication and enthusiasm as Leo. Okay, so on to staff announcements. So a reminder to CPAB members to complete the ethics training. You should have received an email from Victoria Velasquez from the Ethics Commission regarding the required ethics training for all boards and commissions members. If you have any questions, please contact Victoria. I will enter her email and phone number into the chat, but I'll also just read it out loud. So it's vvelasquez@sandiego.gov. And then the phone number is 619-533-3417. I'll drop that in the chat. It's also in an email that Leo sent a couple weeks ago. And then we also mentioned at the last CPAB meeting in May that the updated Office of Boards and Commissions website will need all board members to have a current application on file. So please fill out an application on the OBC site at your earliest convenience. That's on board.sandiego.gov, and I'll also drop the link to that in the chat. And I know Leo sent this out in email a few weeks ago as well. And I think that is all that I have for announcements.
Great. I think I'll jump back in. Echo everybody's nice words for Leo. Thank you so much for everything you've done, and good luck in the future. I'm glad that we're keeping you at the city. We need people like you. Do we have any non-agenda or agenda public comment? I believe I'm hearing none. Leo, were there any submitted?
None that I received. Nadine, did you receive any?
I did not know.
Okay.
And no one has their hand up in the attendee list, so.
Okay, great. Then I think we'll move on to our action items.
Great. I can introduce the first action item, Peter, since I don't know if you have your agenda handy. But the first action item is the selection of a CPAB chair and vice chair for the next fiscal year. According to the municipal code, the mayor has the opportunity to appoint a chair for the Consolidated Plan Advisory Board during the month of July in a memo. In lieu of receiving that memo, which we did not receive an appointment memo in July, the board then can elect a chair and vice chair in August. And so we are looking for a board member to either offer to continue their term as the chair, or if there's any interest in Peter, I'll let you handle the rest of the election process.
Oh boy. Well, first of all, I would say that I'm pleased to have done it, but I'm happy to give somebody else the chance. So I hope anybody who wants to consider serving in either of those positions will identify themselves. There's lots of you. Is there a special procedure for this part of it, Michelle? I mean, I guess, do we just open it up for discussion?
Yeah, we can just open it up for discussion, see if there's anyone interested in taking on the chair position, and
great,
and go from there.
All right.
So this is Rich. Peter, are you opposed to continuing to serve if somebody else doesn't want to, and Eileen for vice president as well? Go ahead, Peter.
I'm not opposed, but you know, I can't quite remember. So as I said, if somebody else would like to take the lead, I'm open to that as well. But I'm not opposed to staying on.
So yeah, I personally, I sure like you in charge there, like you are, and same way with Eileen being vice president. But that's me. And gosh, I mean, and you've done such a good job. You know what you're doing here, and everything goes real smooth. Unless somebody else would like that. I mean, that's a tough one here.
Anybody else?
I see no hands, Peter, and no one's taking themselves off mute to speak either.
So I'll make the motion for Peter to continue as the chair and for Eileen as the vice chair, if that's okay.
Is there a second for that?
This is Patrick. I'll second that motion.
Okay, I guess we'll take a vote. And so Rich,
Aye.
Patrick,
Aye.
Dr. Campbell, I think,
Yay.
and Victoria Barber's not there, right?
Yeah, she is. She's here.
Okay, got it.
Yay.
Eileen is not here, correct?
Correct.
So, presumably she votes aye. I don't know. And I'll vote aye and humbly accept your renomination.
And Eugene gets a vote as well.
Oh, sorry, Eugene. I apologize.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And we all of course look forward to meeting you in person at some point. Great. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I guess that takes care of our first item. The second one, I gather, is the formation of fiscal year 2024 scoring criteria committees.
Yes, that's correct. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. So do you all see my screen okay?
We see it. It's in
see
like
the notes.
presentation mode. Yeah.
1 second. Nope, sorry, 1 sec. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's nice and centered.
Okay, great. Okay, so the FY 2024 scoring criteria and application formation of ad hoc committees. So as stated in item 18 of Council Policy 700-02, the CPAB is required to revisit the scoring criteria that includes but is not limited to an evaluation of past performance and regulatory compliance, if applicable, how the proposed project will address areas of the city identified to have the highest levels of need, eligibility of proposed expenditures and budget, and the amount of percentage of leverage funding contributed to the proposed project. So we currently have 7 seated CPAB members, and ad hoc committees may not consist of a majority of CPAB members. So each ad hoc committee can have up to 3 CPAB members. And staff is requesting to approve the creation of ad hoc committees to review and revise the scoring criteria for the FY24 CDBG applications. This is what the tentative schedule looks like. So we would be holding ad hoc committee meetings in September. We would introduce proposed changes to the CPAB in October and then ask for CPAB approval of the changes. We intend to release the RFP in November, so action on the scoring criteria in October is needed, so we have time to implement any changes in ED grants. And that is all. Thank you.
So this is Rich. Are you going to, Nadine, are you guys going to send us out something? Was it that monkey thing? What do you call it?
Sorry, I will send out a doodle in the next few weeks for CPAB members to select the best dates that work to meet as ad hoc committees.
Nadine, will we do those meetings like this by Zoom or in person, like we have in the past?
The meeting should be on Zoom. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Just wondering, did I understand correctly that there are proposed to be 2 ad hoc committees?
Yeah, we can have 2 or more. We've had several meetings in the past. They just can't exceed 3 CPAB members per meeting.
Why 2 groups rather than 1 group?
Sorry, why 2 and not 1? We could do 1 if there's only interest from 3 CPAB members. We just can't have more than a majority of CPAB members at these ad hoc committees due to the Brown Act. Because those are, because they won't be public meetings. So we can have multiple meetings depending on interest from CPAP members. If there's only interest from 3, then we would just have 1.
Right. I think with the way that it worked is the 7 of us will sign up if interested in participating, and then they'll figure out how many we can have.
Yes. And I'll send out a doodle link where folks can fill that out, and in that way you're expressing interest in joining a meeting, and then you can also let me know which dates work best for you so we can meet. Are there any other questions?
Will you be doing these like in the 3rd week of September? Do you have any time frame for these yet?
I think we'll have them in the month of September.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe like the first, I don't know, probably the first 3 weeks.
Okay, great. If there are other questions, speak up, but if not, I guess you want us to take a vote on that, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Rich?
Peter, I think we need a motion and a second first.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, absolutely. Can we get a motion on the vote?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. And second?
Rich, second.
Great. How about a vote? Rich, go ahead.
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Dr. Campbell?
Yes.
Victoria?
Yes.
And I'll vote Eugene?
Yes.
And I'll vote aye.
Great, thank you.
Great. And now I believe we move on.
Peter, you may have muted yourself.
I did mute myself. Do you want me to introduce the discussion? Which is the Home American Rescue Plan update.
Yeah, I can go ahead and introduce our program manager, Angela Nazareno Clark, and she'll give the update on the Home ARP outreach.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome, Eugene, to our CPAB board. It's nice to meet you. Hopefully I'll be able to meet you in person soon. And good morning, everyone. I'm here, as Michelle said, to update the board on the city's Home ARP outreach efforts made through July, consulting with key stakeholders to solicit their input as we draft the allocation plan for the program. Just a little background or reminder, the Home American Rescue Plan, also known as Home ARP, was signed into law March 21st of 2021 as part of HUD's COVID-19 emergency programs to address the needs of qualifying populations impacted by the pandemic. As a participating city of Home ARP, we are required to consult with a variety of stakeholders, service providers, and residents of the community and solicit feedback through answering our online survey released back on June 29th and closed on July 29th. The survey was provided both in English and Spanish. Qualifying populations of the program included homeless or at risk of homelessness, fleeing or attempting to flee domestic violence, those at greatest risk of housing instability, and veterans and or families with a veteran member. Eligible activities included development of support of affordable housing, tenant-based rental assistance, also known as TBRA, provisions of supportive services, acquisition development of non-congregate shelter units, and administration and planning, which was capped at 15%. The city was awarded $20.9 million in Home ARP funds, and the program expires September 30th. This is just a recap of the efforts through the month of July. We held one virtual consultation workshop on July 21st, one in-person community workshop at the San Diego Central Library on July 28th. And in addition, a total of 4 meetings were held from July 14th through the 28th with the following organizations: the county's COC, which is Continuum of Care, the San Diego Promise Zone Housing Affordability Working Group, and 2 service provider network meetings that were held on July 22nd and July 28th. We also put out an e-blast and in our newsletter for the department and distributed to all of our CDBG lists on July 19th, 26th, and 28th. Home ARP was also shared on both our websites, the EDD website for our department and the Promise Zone July newsletters, and those were distributed on July 20th. For social media platforms, we announced it on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. We've received a total of 91 survey responses, with the results in the priority activities listed in this order. Development of affordable housing was number 1. Number 2 ranked as TBRA, tenant-based rental assistance. Number 3 was supportive services. Number 4 was acquisition and development of non-congregate shelters. And those were the 4 that were ranked. At the 6 community meetings and workshops held, a total of 100 attendees participated in those meetings. Per HUD regulations and the consultations that we are required to conduct over the month of July, the city's outreach efforts were all completed and included those requirements needed by Home ARP regulations, reaching out to such providers in the categories of homeless services, domestic violence, veteran groups, public housing, fair housing, housing developers, general public, and civil rights. All responses, comments, and the data collection will be incorporated into the plan. Staff is scheduled to present the draft plan to PSNLN on September 7th, and then on to City Council the following week for approval of the plan. Staff is also scheduled to submit the plan to HUD on or around September 21st. I appreciate the time on your agenda today, as I know you are all very busy, and appreciate the opportunity to share the Home ARP update. Thank you.
This is Rich. Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
That was in 2019 that we awarded what, 20 million, right, for this program?
We were awarded in 2021.
Oh, there we go, 2021. So none of this money's been spent yet, right?
Correct. The plan is required to be submitted to HUD and approved by HUD prior to the release of the additional funds. The only funds that have been released to the city is the 5% for the planning and administration of the program, but no other funds have been released at this time.
So who's going to make the final decision on the allocation for those 5 areas you're talking about, and where them and what groups get that money to spend?
We will be preparing the plan and presenting that to City Council at September, and the City Council will be voting on the recommendations of the activities that will most likely follow. We have to have supporting documentation, most likely will follow the list of the priorities given from the survey results, which was the 4 that I mentioned. And again, I'm happy to repeat those. It was the affordable housing as number 1. Let me scroll down, sorry, 1 second, make sure I have this accurate for you. Number 1 was development of affordable housing. Number 2 was tenant-based rental assistance. Number 3 was supportive services. And coming in number 4 was acquisition and development of non-congregate shelters.
Is there a committee that like for the City Council that this goes to for? This will already be worked out before it goes to City Council, and who's doing the working out of it?
The public, the PSNLN committee which is the public services and public services and neighborhood. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. I'm so sorry. But PSNLN, we'll be hearing this on September 7th and, livable neighborhoods, I'm sorry, on September 7th, and that'll go to City Council the following week. And it's scheduled to be heard potentially on the 12th or 13th of September at City Council with the recommendation from PSNLN.
Will any of this come into CPAB? What's our involvement?
I think we are planning to do that, but I would need to discuss with Michelle because I want to make sure, I think it might be just a timing thing and we're going to have a meeting scheduled a little ahead of time. Normally, I believe you would be meeting in mid-September for CPAB. If we're going to City Council or to PSNLN on the 7th, we would need to meet prior to that.
Yeah, actually, if I could step in,
Sure.
We did reschedule the CPAB meeting. I think that was something that was mentioned maybe about a month ago through email with Leo and the CPAB members. So it was rescheduled to September 8th. It was moved up so that we could have a CPAB meeting during the public comment period of the allocation plan. So it's kind of serving twofold. It's getting the Consolidated Plan Advisory Board members' comments, as well as serving as an opportunity for the public to comment on the allocation plan during the meeting and during the public comment period. So it'll be after it's presented to the Public Safety and Public Services and Livable Neighborhood Committee, PSNLN, but it will be before it goes to City Council. So there's an opportunity for the CPAB to make a recommendation to City Council.
And that recommendation will be based on what you guys have put together, and then we'll get a chance to hear from folks and then see it, and you'll present it to us, and then we can say yay or what we think about it, yay or nay, right?
Correct.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, good. And thanks, Angela, too, for answering those questions real quick. Thank you very much, and how you remember those dates is amazing, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from anyone? Hearing none. I believe, are there any other items that we need to discuss today?
There's just the open agenda item for any items that the board might want us to cover in the future. If there's any ideas or thoughts for future agenda items, this is the opportunity to make those suggestions.
Got it. Anyone have any suggestions?
I had
Go ahead, Rich.
I'm sorry. Okay, I had kind of one comment. We're coming up, and we're going to be looking at our criteria again and our questions that we ask for the folks for the request for proposals coming up. And I always am looking for let's say like we need a question to ask for for verifiable data that kind of defines the improved outcomes. Let's say, for example, when I hope everybody looks at those at our applications or questions that we ask coming up and thinks about it between now and then when we get our ad-hoc together, where we can ask a better question and getting some measurements and have them produce something, our applicants produce something showing what they've done in the past or what they intend to do, and then where they can actually give us something that maybe can be verified. So just a thought, when we're considering our ad hocs and readjusting those questions. We've all been dancing around that question, trying to figure out a way of asking that, because everybody seems to want to, have some way of telling how well these groups have been doing in the past. And we just kind of got to drill down on that a little bit, if that's okay. So anyway, just a thought. So thank you.
Thank you, Rich.
Is it my imagination, or have we done a program? I think usually toward the end of the year, we ask groups to come in and kind of talk about some of their accomplishments. feel like we did that at least once that I remember in the last couple of years, but that might be interesting. But any other suggestions, comments?
Peter, you kind of broke up there. Are you saying to have organizations come in and present their
Yeah,
outcomes?
I feel like we did that. Didn't we have at least one session in the last couple of years in person where we had a number of groups come in and kind of present about what their accomplishment was?
Yeah, I think that was related to the
Yeah,
small
that was part of the
emerging group.
small and emerging group.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just an idea. So, I mean, I know we're not really doing it in person, but you know, I think it's always interesting to see how that's working. Maybe we'll discuss that during our ad-hoc as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was nice having them in front of us, and we could drill down a little bit on that. And it helped us too, and later on adjusting those questions and how they were answering those. Good, good, very good.
Great. Well, if there's no other suggestions for that, then I guess we move to adjourn. And it sounds like our next meeting is on Wednesday, September 8th.
It should be Thursday.
Thursday.
September 8th.
Thursday, September 8th. Great.
This is Patrick. I'll make a motion to adjourn at 10:50 a.m.
Great. Thank you. Second?
Second from Rich.
Awesome. We'll see you in a couple of weeks then. Oh, I guess we take a vote. Sorry. Dr. Rich, I take it you're an aye. Patrick,
Yes.
you're probably an aye. Dr. Campbell?
Yes. Aye.
Peter cut out.
Okay. Can we-
Victoria Barba, Eugene, and I.
Yes.
Yes.
I think we've all voted aye to adjourn the meeting, right?
Yes.
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 Okay, great. Awesome. See you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, Leo.
Bye.
Bye, Leo.
You.
Bye. Okay. I think that's it. Nadine's still on here. So Nadine, can you stop the recording?